Good evening, everyone. I want to talk about something that has been said too many times, misunderstood too many times, and yet not said enough in the right way. Feminism. Now, I know, the moment we say the word feminism, there are people who get uncomfortable. Some people roll their eyes, others switch off, because for too long this word has been twisted, misunderstood, and labeled with baggage that never belonged to it in the first place. So let me say this clearly, loudly, and without apology. Feminism is not about hating men. Feminism is not about women wanting to dominate. Feminism is not a Western concept. Feminism, in its truest form, is equality. It is about choice. It is about freedom. It is about being seen, heard, and valued for who you are, regardless of gender. I didn't grow up knowing the word feminism. I grew up watching my grandmom hustle, my mom serve in the army, and my dad treat me like I could achieve anything I set my mind to. They didn't call it feminism. But it was because they believed in me, in my power, and in my right to dream. And as I grew up, on movie sets, at global stages, in boardrooms, and even at kitchen tables, I realized that feminism isn't just something women need to fight for. It's something everyone should believe in, because when women rise, humanity rises. Feminism is about a girl in a village who wants to go to school. It's about a woman in a corporate job asking to be paid fairly. It's about a mother teaching her son that respect is not gendered, and it's about all of us saying, we are equal, and we deserve to be treated that way. Let's stop asking, are you a feminist? Let's start asking, are you not? Because if you believe in fairness, in dignity, in opportunity for everyone, then congratulations, my friend, you are a feminist. It's time we reclaim the word. It's time we wear it with pride, not just for ourselves, but for every little girl who's told she can't, and every young boy who's told he shouldn't cry. Let's teach them better, because the true definition of feminism is freedom. Freedom to choose, freedom to grow, freedom to be exactly who we are. Feminism, at its heart, is a movement rooted in the pursuit of equality. But somewhere along the way, the word has been misunderstood, misused, and misrepresented. Too often, when people hear the word feminism, they react with discomfort or defensiveness, assuming it implies a battle against men or a desire for women to dominate society. That could not be further from the truth. Feminism does not aim to take anything away from men. It is not about diminishing anyone else's power, it's about leveling the playing field. The true definition of feminism is equality, equal rights, equal opportunities, and equal value for all genders. It acknowledges that, historically and even today, women and marginalized groups have faced systemic disadvantages in education, employment, leadership, and even basic safety. Feminism calls attention to those imbalances and seeks to correct them, not by pushing others down, but by lifting those who have been held back. The fear that feminism promotes superiority over men stems from a place of misinformation and often insecurity. But believing in feminism doesn't mean believing that women are better than men. It means believing that women deserve the same chances . It means recognizing that talent, intelligence, leadership, and strength are not gendered qualities. They exist in everyone. Feminism is not a fight between the sexes. It's a collective effort to remove the invisible walls that keep people, especially women, from reaching their full potential. In fact, feminism benefits everyone. When women thrive, families thrive. When workplaces value women equally, companies perform better. When boys are taught to value empathy and vulnerability alongside strength, they grow up to become more balanced, compassionate men. Feminism allows society as a whole to evolve, to become more just and more human. Yet, it is unfortunate that many people still hesitate to call themselves feminists. Why? Because the word has been painted as extreme. But what is extreme about believing in fairness? What is radical about asking to be treated with dignity and respect? We must change the narrative. We must normalize the idea that feminism is not just for women. It's for anyone who believes in justice, equality, and human rights. We must stop framing feminism as a threat and start embracing it as a solution. It's time we take the word back, remove the stigma, and say it proudly. Because feminism, in its truest and purest form, is not about being better, it's about being equal. Feminism is, above all, about the right to choose and the freedom to live life on one's own terms. It is not a rigid set of rules or expectations about how a woman should behave, speak, dress, or live. Instead, it is the belief that every individual, regardless of gender, deserves the freedom to define their own path without fear, judgment, or limitation. That freedom is the essence of what feminism stands for. For far too long, women around the world have been told what they can and cannot do. They have been told what dreams are acceptable, what roles they must fulfill, and how far they are allowed to go. Feminism challenges that. It says, you can be anything. You can be a mother or not. You can lead a company, run a country, stay home, or chase the stars. The choice is yours, and that choice should be respected. Feminism doesn't demand that all women must follow the same path. It demands that every path be available and accessible. Freedom within feminism also means freedom from judgment. Too often, women are placed in boxes, labeled for being too bold, too ambitious, too quiet, too emotional, or too strong. Feminism encourages the breaking of these labels. It allows a woman to be soft and strong, nurturing and powerful, emotional and rational, because she is a human being, not a stereotype. The power of choice also applies to men. Feminism liberates men from the outdated ideals of masculinity that tell them they cannot cry, that they must always lead, provide, and suppress vulnerability. Feminism gives men the freedom to be fully human, to feel, to support, to nurture, and to seek help without shame. It broadens the definition of strength, not just for women, but for everyone. Feminism respects individuality. It understands that liberation doesn't look the same for every person. What empowers one woman may not empower another. But feminism holds space for all of it. It says, your story matters, your voice matters, your journey matters. In the end, the freedom feminism seeks is not abstract. It is deeply personal. It's about being able to wake up each day and live as your authentic self. It's about making choices based on your own desires, not society's limitations. That's the world feminism envisions, not a world where one gender rises above another, but a world where everyone rises, free to be exactly who they are. Feminism is often mistakenly seen as a concept that belongs only to Western countries, portrayed as a movement that arose from specific cultural or political moments in Europe or North America. But this is a narrow and inaccurate view. Feminism is universal. It exists in every corner of the world, in every culture, and among all people who believe in the fundamental idea of equality and justice. The struggle for gender equality is not confined by borders or limited to any one society. It is a global human rights issue. Throughout history, women and marginalized groups in every culture have fought for their rights in ways that reflect their unique social, political, and cultural circumstances. Feminism is not a one-size-fits-all approach. It adapts and takes shape differently across societies, but carries the same core principle: the demand for equal respect, opportunities, and freedoms. Whether it's women campaigning for education in rural villages, advocating against gender-based violence in urban centers, or challenging legal discrimination in conservative societies, these struggles are all threads in the larger fabric of feminism. Understanding feminism as a universal movement helps break down harmful stereotypes that paint it as a foreign or Western imposition. This stereotype can sometimes be used to dismiss feminist ideas in non-Western countries as irrelevant or inappropriate. But the reality is that the fight for women's rights is deeply embedded in many cultures' histories and continues to be driven by local activists, thinkers, and communities who are passionately committed to justice. Feminism is not about imposing one culture's values on another. It is about respecting the dignity and humanity of all people everywhere. Moreover, feminism recognizes that the experiences of women and marginalized people are shaped by many intersecting factors, including race, class, ethnicity, religion, and geography. This intersectional understanding ensures that feminism remains inclusive and relevant across diverse contexts. It acknowledges that equality means addressing different barriers faced by different groups of people and fighting for solutions that work in their unique realities. When we embrace feminism as a global movement, we open doors for solidarity and shared learning. Activists from one part of the world can inspire and support those in another, creating a powerful network of voices united by the belief that everyone deserves equal rights. The true strength of feminism lies in its ability to bring people together, across cultures, continents, and experiences, in pursuit of a common goal. Feminism is not a Western luxury or an imported idea. It is a universal call for human dignity, respect, and equality that belongs to all of us. Recognizing this is essential if we want to build a world where everyone, everywhere, can live freely and fully. Feminism is often misunderstood as a cause that only concerns women, but in reality, it is a movement that benefits everyone. It is about creating a society where fairness and equality are the norm, not the exception. When we say feminism is for everyone, we mean that men, women, and people of all genders have a stake in this movement because the barriers it seeks to dismantle affect society as a whole. Many people mistakenly think that feminism is a fight against men, but that couldn't be further from the truth. Feminism is about challenging the unfair systems that limit both women and men. For example, rigid gender roles can restrict men's emotional expression and limit their ability to take on caregiving roles without stigma. Feminism encourages breaking down these harmful stereotypes so everyone can live more authentic, fulfilled lives. When society moves towards equality, men also gain freedom. The freedom to be vulnerable, to share responsibilities at home, and to pursue passions without being boxed into narrow definitions of masculinity. Furthermore, feminism encourages partnership and solidarity between all people. It recognizes that real change happens when we work together, not when one group fights against another. By supporting feminism, men become allies who can use their voices and positions to promote equality, whether that's advocating for equal pay, supporting parental leave policies, or standing against gender-based violence. Feminism invites everyone to be part of the solution because it understands that the status quo hurts us all in different ways. Women's empowerment leads to healthier families, stronger communities, and more prosperous societies. When women have equal access to education, jobs, and leadership, the benefits ripple outward. Studies show that companies with diverse leadership perform better. Countries with gender equality tend to have stronger economies, and children raised in more equitable households often develop better social and emotional skills. These positive outcomes don't just improve women's lives, they improve everyone's. The question isn't whether men should care about feminism, it's why anyone wouldn't. Feminism calls for fairness, respect, and dignity for all people. By embracing feminism, we're building a society where no one is limited by their gender and where everyone has the opportunity to thrive. It's about creating a world where fairness is the foundation, and everyone, regardless of gender, can live with dignity and purpose. This is why feminism is not just a women's issue. It's a human issue that invites all of us to participate in shaping a better future. Feminism is not just a theory or a distant ideal. It is something lived and experienced every day through the choices we make and the actions we take. It's found in the small, everyday moments that together create a powerful force for change. Feminism shows up when a family chooses to send their daughter to school, despite traditional expectations. It happens when women demand equal pay at work, standing firm against outdated norms that say their contributions are worth less. It is present in the way parents teach their sons and daughters to respect one another, breaking the cycle of gender stereotypes and biases. These daily acts are the heartbeat of feminism. They demonstrate that feminism isn't confined to protests or policy debates. It's woven into the fabric of our lives. Every time someone challenges a sexist joke, supports a colleague facing discrimination, or questions a rule that limits someone's potential based on gender, feminism is alive and working. It is in these moments that change happens, because society is shaped not just by laws but by culture, attitudes, and behaviors. Feminism also recognizes the diversity of experiences and respects that what empowerment looks like can vary widely. For one woman, empowerment might mean becoming the CEO of a major company. For another, it could mean having the freedom to choose not to work outside the home without judgment. The common thread is the right to make that choice freely, without societal pressure or discrimination. Feminism insists on respecting those individual paths and ensuring everyone has the opportunity to pursue their own version of fulfillment. Moreover, feminism's presence in everyday life helps dismantle the invisible barriers that keep inequality in place. When women stand up to demand fair treatment, they challenge long-standing biases that have normalized unequal power dynamics. When communities educate children about gender equality from a young age, they sow seeds of respect that grow into healthier, more inclusive societies. These acts might seem small individually, but collectively they shift the culture. Importantly, feminism encourages accountability in our daily interactions. It asks us to examine how we treat others and to speak out against injustice wherever we see it. It is not just the responsibility of women or activists, it is a shared commitment to fairness and respect. This everyday feminism is accessible to everyone and is perhaps the most powerful way to create lasting change. In essence, feminism is lived through the choices we make each day. How we support one another, how we challenge stereotypes, and how we stand up for equality in all its forms. It is through these daily acts of courage and compassion that feminism moves from an idea to a reality. The word feminism has often been misunderstood, misrepresented, and sometimes even feared. For many, it carries a heavy weight of stereotypes and misconceptions that keep people from embracing it fully. But it is time to reclaim feminism, to take back the word and wear it proudly, not as a label of division or conflict, but as a symbol of strength, equality, and justice. Reclaiming feminism means reshaping the narrative and showing the world what it truly stands for. The belief that everyone deserves equal rights and opportunities, regardless of gender. This process of reclaiming is important because the power of a word lies in how it is understood and used. When feminism is distorted into something aggressive or exclusive, it loses its ability to unite and inspire. But when we claim it for what it really is, we unlock its potential to bring people together around a common cause. It becomes a call to action, a badge of honor that signals commitment to fairness and dignity for all. Proudly embracing feminism also means confronting the stigma that still surrounds it in many societies. In some places, admitting you are a feminist can be seen as controversial or even dangerous. This stigma often comes from misunderstanding or fear of change. By openly owning the term, by speaking about feminism in positive, inclusive ways, we help to dismantle these fears and normalize the idea that seeking equality is not radical. It is essential. Moreover, reclaiming feminism is about empowering the next generation. The way young people understand feminism will shape the future. If they grow up hearing that feminism is something shameful or extreme, they may shy away from it. But if they see it as a movement grounded in respect, freedom, and fairness, they will be more likely to carry that vision forward. This shift is crucial because the work of feminism is ongoing. There are still many barriers to break and many voices to be heard. Reclaiming feminism also means expanding its reach and inclusivity. It must be a feminism that embraces diversity and acknowledges the different experiences of people across race, class, culture, and identity. This inclusive feminism is stronger because it listens to and learns from a wide range of perspectives, making the movement more representative and effective. At its core, reclaiming feminism is about owning the freedom to be exactly who we are, without apology or restriction. It's about insisting on respect, opportunity, and dignity for everyone. By proudly embracing feminism, we not only honor those who fought before us, but also pave the way for a more just and equal world for generations to come. Thanks.